Joe Hopkins here, and today I'm talking about a couple things. First, what's it like being a professional musician? I think some people want to know. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe nobody cares. And the second one is, are gray sweatpants really that sexy? I mean, there's a whole set of people out there that are really into gray sweatpants. Why? And are they really that sexy? Okay, so first, being a professional musician. First of all, don't quit your day job. You're not about to make a ton of money. More than likely. Every now and then, somebody really hits it big. But in general, you're not about to make a lot of money. I've been a professional musician in several ways, right? I've played in bands, and you don't make a lot of money. I've played in rock bands, punk bands, metal bands, country bands, and I've played on my own, and then I played for quite a while, a couple years with my wife doing gospel and folk music. And yeah, you don't make a lot of money. A lot of people want you to play for free. A lot of people want you to play their party for, well, you could drink some beer. You can get exposure. Or if you play in a gospel band, if you have a gospel act like we did, a lot of churches want you to play because it serves the kingdom, right? Well, that's great and all, but I don't mind playing for free, especially for churches and stuff like that. I never really minded if it was fairly close to home, but people want you to play for free when you have to drive 2 hours. I need gas money. At least you got to at least pay me for the gas, okay? I can't get there for free. They don't just, give out free gas at the gas station because you're playing at a church somewhere. It doesn't work that way. But yeah, you want to be a professional musician, get ready to spend a lot of time practicing and learning songs so that you can make almost no money. And that's unfortunately the truth. Now, it is a lot of fun. I've never done a show that I didn't have fun, right? I've always enjoyed myself. If you enjoy playing music and you enjoy performing, then it's always a good time, right? You always have a good time. Don't get too hung up on the money and just enjoy the journey. That's what I would recommend. Another thing I learned is you will inevitably end up playing gigs where you come home in a snowstorm. That seemed to happen a lot. I mean, a lot. Where we would have a gig and the weather would be great going up. Now, it doesn't help that a lot of our gigs were in central Pennsylvania. So, we get there and then it snows like most of the way back, right? It doesn't snow as much where I live as it does further north and west, which is where all of our gigs were. And, it's still fun. The gigs were great. They were always a blast. So there's that. And for a lot of you guys, you might be the types of people that will play bars or coffee houses, and that kind of stuff's great too. And sometimes it's fun just to do it just for fun. Plus, if you put your hat out, people tip you. You can go busking on the street. But don't quit the day job. That's the point. Another thing about being a professional musician, I've been a professional musician in another vein too, where my wife and I have released music. We recorded several albums. We released 3 of them. And once again, you don't make a ton of money. We sold a few CDs. We've gotten a little bit of royalties. I mean, we've gotten actually a relatively decent bit of radio airplay for a small independent group. But most of them are independent stations that don't necessarily report, so we really don't know how much airplay we're getting. I do know like 6 of our songs are on regular rotation on a radio station in Texas. The program manager really liked our stuff, so he just put us on the regular rotation. And it's still there. Every now and then we see royalties from odd places, right? We've gotten royalties from television shows that decided to play some of our music. I'm not exactly sure why. Most of the time it's smaller shows and I can't find the episode online. I can't find anything like that. So it just leaves question marks. You get that royalties report at the end of the year, and you're just kind of scratching your head going, why, who's this and why did they play us? It'd be great to get to see it, but I can't find it, right? So, and we actually got some royalties from a radio station in northern Mexico. So we've been played internationally, and maybe further afield than that. Like I said, a lot of radio stations are independent and don't report everything they play. So there's a lot of question marks there, but whenever we called those radio stations back to touch base, the program director usually knew who we were. So obviously they have the album, they play songs from it, they know what it is, but we haven't seen a lot of money from it. Once again, radio airplay is something that we've gotten a little bit of money from, and even less from streaming. We're streamed more than we're played on the radio, but streaming gives you so much less in royalties. For anybody that thinks they're going to make it on Spotify and become a millionaire, yeah, it just doesn't work that way. And I'm not trying to burst people's bubbles here. It is fun, and it is more than cool that I've been played on the radio. That is absolutely amazing. But yeah, unless you're like a big band and getting a lot of airplay, you're not going to get a lot of money. But you can get played and you can make a couple bucks. The most money I've seen from my music so far is on YouTube. And as of right now, as of when I'm recording this video, I have a rather small channel. So even that hasn't been a ton of money. And my songs are probably some of the least popular videos on this channel. Not that they don't do anything, but you guys would rather hear about guitars. You guys would rather hear about experiences in music, even music lessons, rather than listen to a song. So, and I understand. I get it, right? Some people like my songs, but it's only some people. And when my wife and I had a channel together, when we were doing that together there, we never actually monetized. We never got to that point. So being a professional musician, what it's like is doing it because you want to do music, because you love it. Recording music, releasing music, doing YouTube videos. And honestly, YouTube and social media are a very important part of being a musician in these modern times. Even really big bands, they have social media accounts, right? And I'm sure some of the larger players in this game have social media managers, right? Now, of course, I don't. Actually, I've been a social media manager for other people, mostly in putting together content and setting up Facebook pages and other social media accounts and scheduling content to be released, that kind of thing. I've done that for other people, not musicians, actually. I did that for a comedy page. I did that for a couple other like blog type Facebook pages. But social media is important for the modern musician. You need it. You need something, right? And of course, everybody has a thing they primarily focus on. For me, it's YouTube. For my wife at the moment, she's a writer. Her main thing is Facebook and her blog. But Facebook is her main social media. For some people, it's Instagram. For some people, it's Twitter. You know, there's a ton of social media out there. And some people are really killing it on multiple platforms, and that's great. But yeah, being a musician is doing it for the love of it. Almost solely because you're not going to make a ton of money. It's just not going to happen. You might. I hold out hope that I might make a bunch of money at this someday. But, you know, it just is what it is. And you even look at some of the biggest music YouTubers, they're not making much money off their music. They're making their YouTube channel is doing well off of other things, guitar tutorials or music tutorials or comedy stuff or instrument reviews or, you know, breaking down albums, talking about certain albums of popular music. And that's usually the moneymaker for people. And then they do their music too. And And the big money maker for YouTube guitarists seems to be lessons, selling, you know, a guitar lesson program, which I'm not going to do because I'm a shitty teacher. I really stink at it. And I can play, but I don't know if I could teach you how to play. I've tried, I've done lessons on here, and I can show you basic stuff, but I'm not the best of teachers, and because I do have the day job, I don't have the time to put together a whole lesson plan. That is a rather large project. I'm still trying to put out an album, and I've got everything recorded and mostly done with the mixing and mastering, and I still can't get it out. So there you go. When you're a professional musician, you tend to lack time because now you have two jobs, musician and whatever it is that pays the bills. So, you know, all I can say is kudos to all you guys out there that get a YouTube channel started and get to where you can make a living at it. Hey, that's an awesome thing to be able to do. I'm trying to get there myself. Now, the second question on this is, are gray sweatpants really that sexy? I don't know if I should be asking my audience this. I've seen my demographics. Y'all are middle-aged dudes, okay? There is like 1% female on this channel, and the majority of you watching are not just all dudes, but you're all dudes in your 40s, but there are a couple of chicks that watch my channel. I know, there are. So my question is, why are gray sweatpants sexy? What's the deal with that? And are my gray sweatpants sexy? Hold on a second. Huh? Are they sexy? Are they sexy? Woo! Sexy gray sweatpants, sexy gray sweatpants, sexy gray sweatpants. Yeah, they're sexy. Yeah, they're sexy. Yeah, they're sexy, sexy, sexy gray sweatpants.